Welcome back to the World Championship Series Europe Premier League Round of 16 Group B. 2 games down, 3 to go, and we already know who's in the upper bracket final. That one is on ice right now as the two players take a break from the arena, and we head down to the lower bracket now for ToD against YoDa. It's the last Terran remaining in the round of 16, as you can see on your screen right now. These two are in a battle for their lives in the tournament, ToD and YoDa. The winner will go through to place the loser of Wellmu versus MC. They'll fight it off in a little bit longer. For the first place in Group B, pretty much as we predicted. Kalaris is with me. It's all going pretty much the way we thought, isn't it?
I think there was a little bit up in the air as to whether YoDa or Wellmu would actually take that. It was all really about seeing how in form YoDa was on this kind of stage. And you know, Wellmu always plays well, but there were question marks around with YoDa, as I mentioned, and he didn't deliver.
No, he absolutely didn't, and he has to now, because we're going to get straight into the map vetoes with these two going head-to-head. In terms of the way that they match up against each other, ToD has played YoDa twice and lost both matches, so it doesn't bode well in terms of form, but I guess you can kind of throw that out right now. It's pretty much all for him, all man for himself, isn't it, when they go in there?
Yeah, I think this series in general is going to be quite interesting in terms of how we see these guys play out. ToD's kind of guy that, you know, plays very, very long games, and almost sometimes to his detriment of like not looking for the finishing blow sometimes. But still, his macro is ferocious and his defensive capabilities are ferocious.
What did you make of him against MC? Flashes of goodness, flashes of you know what you would expect to see, or were you disappointed?
I think MC just did what MC does best, which is kind of read his opponent really well. And again, on a map like Habitation Station, did very, very well with that. Going
to get Habitation back in the mix again here with the other two popular maps. Overgrowth, the most popular map so far, not just in the round of 32, but also yesterday as well. Frost, the second most played map in WCS Europe this season. And Habitation Station, one of the 3 maps hung over from Season 1. So fairly predictable map selections, do you think?
I think so. I mean, we've seen Frost and Overgrowth in every series in the round of 16 so far, right? Which means that right now they're just miles and miles ahead, beyond any of the other maps that we're seeing so far. These guys feel really comfortable on these maps. There's no deviating from it. You know where your opponent's spawning on Overgrowth, for example. Frost has been played forever and ever. So there's so much comfort, and it's not a surprise.
Two men are very different, come from very different backgrounds, but both have one thing in common. They're both Intel Extreme Masters World Champions in different games. 2013, of course, for YoDa at the beginning of Heart of the Swarm, and 2007 for ToD. So they've got pedigree, these two players. We know they have. But why do you think that they have ended up in the losers bracket compared to the other two players in the group? What's been the key difference for you?
ToD got an unlucky draw.
You definitely got that, that's for sure.
And YoDa, again, it was the question marks for me. Like, how well is he going to do? If he was performing well in that first series, maybe he could go through the whole group. Now, I'm not so sure anymore. I mean, ToD is going to bring what I consider to be a very, very different style to what we see normally from Wellmu compared to when he was playing against YoDa. So now YoDa has to kind of completely go over the other side of the spectrum of this matchup, which is ToD's long games if he goes to his normal standard. Yeah, well, when we look back in the round of 32 for a bit of form and a bit of, where's this going to come from, ToD took down MVP in that last round, 2-1. So Korean Terran knows how to beat them. Likewise, though, you look at the other side of the fence, YoDa, who lost to Bunny in the opening game, a European Protoss, managed to beat him the second time round. So we can't really separate them there. This could be quite an even game. Yeah, it could be. It could be. And again, I'm going to stick with my guns and say it's going to be the longest one of the night. We'll find out in a little bit. Which way does it go, though? I mean, I know Heart says ToD. We all know that, but does Head say that too? Okay, he's put his earbuds in.
You're safe. He's only going to watch it on the VOD and kill you afterwards.
You know, I'm actually going to go with ToD. I'm actually going to go with ToD. Can I explain a little bit?
Go on then. Yeah, no, absolutely, go for it.
I think you know, his long game, you know, once he locks down in a matchup, you know, he can be very, very defensively. And I've still got these question marks around YoDa. I want him to prove me wrong. I really do, because I really like YoDa, especially since, you know, we saw him all that time ago, the very first proper Heart of the Swarm champion. And I want to see him, you know, rise to those heights again. All right. Thank you very much, Kalaris. Let's go into the commentary team for this one and find out their thoughts and their predictions. It's Apollo and the Terran de Muslim.
Thank you, Red Eye, and welcome back to the Caster's Desk. And we are here to bring you the commentary for this next game. So we've got the predictions of people over on the other side of the studio, but what are your predictions for this?
Well, ToD whines a lot about Terran. Like, he whines a lot, but he whines an awful lot about Terran, and he's been having a terrible time against it. Like, his best matchup for sure, PvZ. Hasn't been overly confident in PvP, but no Protoss truly is. So this game, even though YoDa didn't put up like a true A-game performance in the first set against Wellmu, I think YoDa's the favorite. I think he's going to win 2-1 here.
All right, well, we'll find out. Be in the round of 16. And up here, spawning to the top right-hand side is the red Terran player. It's YoDa.
That was sick.
Yeah, that was pretty sick. And then, of course, down to the bottom left-hand side is the blue Protoss playing for XMG. It's ToD's.
Unfortunate first series for ToD, like especially in the second game. Like, he just went for a build that got countered by his opponent, you know, like he didn't scout and what have you, but going to this series, hopefully, well, he's been in the scene for long enough that he knows how to like reset himself and have a fresh mindset, I hope.
So let's talk a little bit about YoDa. YoDa is a player who came into the studio today looking nervous, not talking to anybody, sat down, set up, unpacked, walked off. I didn't really see anyone talk to him at all. MC then uttered that he is feeling nervous today. Is this a game where he doesn't feel nervous anymore and can regain confidence against a player like ToD, who isn't MC, who isn't quite Wellmu?
I hope so. Like, it's very hard when you've been a player that's been at the top, such as YoDa, and then going up against these players that, in your head and everybody else's head, they feel that you are the favorite, and then you're losing these games. Already, by the way, for YoDa, we have a bit of an unconventional build for him.
Yeah, looks like a second barracks may be placed here.
And yet, what a map for it. There's no chance you're ever going to scout this. And ToD, upon scouting, what's he going to see? Well,
can he not, isn't with a build like this, with the barracks, the second barracks coming down, the orbital command slightly delayed? Can he not pick up that timing? He should be able to, right?
He should be able to, but with the fact of Marine's going to come out, like, do you think, or what's going to be going through his head? So he scouts here, then he's like, oh, there's no gas? Okay, that's very weird. There's going to be Marines. The fact that YoDa ran away with that second SCV and did not make a wall kind of makes you go, oh, okay, he's going to go for a 1-rack CC here. And
yeah,
is he just, I think he's just bluffing it for a while, because he's not going to be able to hang around with that probe for long enough, because that Marine's going to come out. So, oh, nice block by ToD here. So
yeah, this is interesting. But it also is like it kind of works, but it doesn't work, because if this happened to you, are you placing your command center down right next to that, or are you making a second supply depot then placing it down?
I'm the kind of guy that places it down right next to it.
So
but
that might be a read.
It very well could be. There's so many options for YoDa here. Be it an all-in, follow it with multiple barracks.
I'm not sure ToD's realizing, because he's cancelled the Zealot, he's thrown the Nexus down.
Oh, it's a bit awkward for ToD here. YoDa's minerals are really high, so even behind this little bit of pressure here, he could. Oh, this bunker here.
It's a big scout there for ToD. He sees the SCV build in the bunker, cancels his Nexus.
I like the fact that he's taken it very seriously, though. He saw that there wasn't an expo or anything, and cancels that, gets his minerals out. If he can hold off this push, he's in great shape, but it is going to be a hard push to hold off.
All right, well, probes are being pulled off. He does not want that bunker to complete on the high ground here, and the SCV is going to get targeted down, and it will get destroyed. The SCVs, I mean, there's only one, and I think it's just the rest of rallied Marines here. Probes do try for a surround. They all get into the bunker, all the Marines. The bunker is cancelled on the high ground here, but YoDa's going to flip down his command center and extra barracks. Is this a win or a loss for YoDa?
At this point, these strategies are so uncommon that I couldn't tell you. I remember MMA doing this kind of build a long time ago without Mothership cores, and it worked out pretty well if you got into this scenario, but...
ToD's forgotten Warpgate Research.
Oh, no, he has.
Yeah. He has,
that is, oh no.
Only just now starting it. That's quite late.
That's a really big blunder. And when you're put in a situation like this, when your opponent does throw something weird at you, these mistakes do happen, but there's no excuse for Warpgate Research being forgotten, really.
I mean, we're sitting on 4 gateways right now. There's a bunker being placed down, and all the barracks are going home, and there's an additional barracks that can, increase the production of units here. From a simple 4 gateways... 5 gateways.
Wow, so there's one thing in ToD's mind right now, which is a big all-in. Yeah. Oh, and a scan. He sees
4 gateways.
Todd's in the worst situation possible right now. Doesn't have warp gate. It's not going to have warp gate for a very long time, and YoDa knows exactly what's coming. All YoDa has to make sure is his front wall has a few bunkers there because there's no other way into the base, and YoDa's sitting very pretty right now.
Could he think it's a potential robotics facility, warp prism? Could he be thinking that he'd need units in the main?
Could be. I mean, that's the only other way to get into the main. Like, maybe there's a Twilight Council elsewhere, but the fact he's breaking out like this... for me personally, if I saw ToD was doing that, and what was the gas? If he clicked on both the gases, the gas income, didn't mind too much gas from either of these assimilators, so...
Yeah.
Oh, lots of sentries coming out for ToD too.
Well, second bunker's been built, Marauders and Marines have been added on, Stim is on its way, so when, you know, if Stim completes its game, but there's a big time before that happens, a good 100 seconds or so.
What an awkward build by YoDa, though, and I love the fact that he threw that out in a series against a player that ToD is very predictable in his builds, and he's very set, and he does very good builds, but here, YoDa threw a curveball at him, he really did, and ToD, he reacted well, but the fact that he forgot Warp Gate and such, that's huge, absolutely huge.
Well, YoDa's already been on the Xel'Nogatar in the middle. He's seen units walking across the map. This Marine's going to get shut down from scouting anything, so he's not 100% sure, but he's sure enough to have 2 bunkers filled. He's pulled SCVs away from the bunker, though. There were 4 on. He's building a turret, which
wow,
tells us he doesn't really know what exactly this is.
Yeah, I'm very surprised with the turret.
Look at the army supply.
ToD could actually make this work, and that's very surprising given that YoDa's scan was perfect. Another scan?
A scan.
In the main base, and yet again?
SCV's pulled just in the nick of time here, but there are going to be force fields behind the bunkers. The time up and force fields do land, and that bunker's getting targeted down pretty fast. The right-hand side's the next destination for these units to start targeting down. And so far, ToD's breaking through. He's got the second bunker down.
Wow, YoDa's being forced back here, and the amount of units he actually has available, there's not much. Great force field on the ramp, so no longer will reinforcements be able to come down here.
All right, Stim is done now, though, and it is activated, so the units are shooting over the force field into the Zealots, but ToD's taking a supply lead.
A really big supply lead.
38. YoDa must be kicking himself here. This was in the bag. There is a Widow Mine, which is going to complicate a little bit of this.
Uh-oh, where is it going to blow up, though? Oh, wow.
Oh,
I think
sentries, that mothership core got hit.
he targeted that, because that could have blown up on those close sentries and blow up all his SCVs, but he actually microed that, so very nice by YoDa there.
All right, well, YoDa's starting to catch up in supply. He's still producing units, and he has that +1 attack and even a new Widow Mine to be produced. If ToD's going to do this, he needs to break through now or start thinking about leaving and start getting that Nexus down. But if he does that, then he gives a big power play over towards YoDa. He's going to push through again. Widow Mines are ready to go. 2 of them. 1 and just 1, but instantly picked off. And YoDa looks like he's going to stabilize from the high ground. And I think he's okay up on the high ground there.
Yeah, the fact that ToD broke through in the first place was very, very scary for YoDa, but now Widow Mines available, nothing to kill them, Medevacs coming out, greater upgrades than ToD.
Yeah.
Harvester count, though, 30 to 20. That's the only advantage ToD really has at this point in time.
Scan from YoDa reveals that the second Nexus has been planted. He knows that it's time to get his units out and start being aggressive here. It's simply 4 gateways worth of units with no real tech to help out. The Widow Mines are going to go around here and attempt for the mineral lines.
It's smart by YoDa keeping his whole army there because he doesn't know what lies beyond. Lots of proxy pylons down, so once he realizes that army is back when he scouts it out with the medevac, he can move down the ramp, regain his expo and such, because his supply is still really healthy. 62 against the 52 of ToD.
Yeah. +1 attack, Stim, combat shields, a lot of Marauders, quite a few Marines in the mix. A good army for YoDa, and he's now getting medevacs as well. There is a cannon inside the mineral line that is not on the natural yet, but there is observers about to be produced. 1 Widow Mine plants down, and here is the first-person view from YoDa as he looks to get some damage done on the natural.
Was that a bit too ballsy? Oh, it does stay alive, so nice play by YoDa.
And we see him moving out in the middle of the map at the same time. Widow Mine's going to swing around to the main base. Main force through the middle. This is going to be a push which will be hard to stop. There is Photon Overcharge. There is quite a few units, but overall, that's a lot that YoDa has.
This is a big army. It's a scary army. Does he have Planetary Nexus available? Yes, he does, but still, I feel this is a fight that YoDa can take.
And he takes it. Stim is activated. Mothership Core get picked off immediately here. And the Nexus is going to be targeted. Probes come off the line to stop it, and it gets destroyed, and that's a big, big win.
Solid force fields by ToD, but they are counteracted by YoDa's pickup micro right there, and that is a big, big win for YoDa. Oh, YoDa's playing really well here. Like, initially, upon scanning twice and not realizing that, no, you're just getting 4-gated at your front door, or even 5-gated. Kind of thought it was DTs, possibly had the turret at the front. It was, pretty, like, YoDa plays this matchup very scared, but here he's getting into the flow of things, he's playing solid, and upon killing that Nexus and not seeing any super tech, he's playing so good.
He's over the moon.
He's over the moon. I'd be so happy in these positions. Like, YoDa whips out a bit of a crazy build. It worked better than it should have. Holds off the 4-gate, and then you see that your opponent has inferior tech to you. Yeah, he's so happy.
He's building Vikings.
He's
I think he needs those, but
well, he did do that Widowmine drop behind the natural, where he did see the robotics bay going down. So he's anticipating the next step of ToD. He's one step ahead with better economy, better tech, better everything. Yeah, I like YoDa's hand, by the way. He moves incredibly fast.
Is there anything else you like about it?
His face.
But that's not his hand.
Oh well, what else can you like about a hand?
The nails?
I wasn't looking that close.
Good force fields here from ToD, but this is a pickup situation here.
Focusing down the sentries one by one here. That is great micro. Each one of those, so much gas. And even though he's losing quite a bit doing it,
wow.
Any trade that YoDa makes at this point is a good trade. Resources lost tab very even, but when you're a Terran with 43 harvesters against the 29 of a Protoss,
ToD's built one Colossus here. It seems like he would like to show that Colossus to then back out and go Immortals by the way he's playing, which could, you know, force an overreaction of overcommitted to Vikings and then wasted supply potentially.
Yeah.
It's a small little trick, but I mean, if these are the tricks that he needs to hold on to win the game, then it's you best be a joker, man.
Best be a joker. But I guess he's doing that because there's lots of Marauders in YoDa's army mix constantly.
Yeah.
Even then on the production tab, you have 3 Marauders being produced to the 3 Marines, or 4 Marines now. So lots and lots of Marauders in his play, and there's a huge army marching across the map. ToD, if he holds on, great, but with each fight that happens, even if YoDa loses his whole army here, he's still going to be trading pretty well at this point in time.
All right, time for what it seems YoDa to take map number 1 here. As he's going to stim forward and he's going to target that Nexus down again. He starts to focus onto the Zealots. The Colossus, I think, is being targeted down there. It is, and it's gone. And there is not a lot left. Probes come off the line, and YoDa stims forward, marches forward, walks forward, and destroys absolutely everything in his way. Game 1 to YoDa.
I don't know what I feel. I'm one of those guys that when a no GG happens, I feel all like
Bitter.
I just feel like, what do I say? Where do I look? One of those kind of situations, you know, like, don't know what to do about it.
ToD doesn't GG between maps. I think he says grats at the end of the series, but that's it.
Okay, that's fair enough.
But not in between. Doesn't speak, doesn't do anything apart from admins when they want to turn the lights off. That's it.
You know, if I got kind of 2-raxed by a Terran, and he sat not 2 meters away from me, I'd feel a bit bitter about it too.
Well, you gotta compose yourself, ready for the next map though. As you are currently in the position, yes, you could be a little bit angry at being 2-raxed and being in the loser's game, but you're also 1 map away from being eliminated from the round of 16.
Yeah, has to keep his cool at this point. He really does. I mean, the first game, he lost in a rather unorthodox way. Doesn't have to truly be sad about it or think, hey, this guy totally outplayed me here. No. You're still in the series. You still have a really good shot of making it through. Keep your composure. Keep cool. And he has a nice new haircut today.
He does. He went for a haircut yesterday. He's not overly happy with it, but I think it's fine.
I think it's fine too.
Yeah. I think it's okay. It's fine. It's very normal.
I mean, it looks like ToD.
Really, yeah, it looks like ToD. It doesn't look very different, so I think it's fine.
Yeah, he's looking the same. He's like had a pretty good haircut for the last few years, I think. So, looking pretty fly.
All right. Is YoDa now going to start to regain some confidence in himself? MC said it in the winner's interview. It's, you know, there's only so much MC can do to help him if you just don't have confidence in yourself. So Let's see if he can start to regain some of that now. He has picked up a map.
That's one thing he's truly been lacking. Like you talked about it earlier, that his body language and the way that he came into this this building, just very nervous. Didn't seem strong. And even here, all
right,
he scanned twice, saw the 4 gate.
I know what we got to do.
What do you got to do?
We've got to go speak to the bar girl.
The bar girl?
And we've got to get her to kiss YoDa after he wins this series, because then his confidence would come flying back. Trust me.
I mean, yes, yes, it would.
Yes, it would.
Yes, it would. No doubt about it.
If she went, congrats.
A little. Oh, Sean.
I'm gonna go speak to her.
Well, you just want to go speak to her.
Any conversation starter, Ben, you give me, I'm gonna use it.
Oh, Shawnee.
Oh, Benny.
So, second game, Frost. You do the introduction, Sean. You were very good at them.
All right, up here to the top right of Frost, this 4-player map. It's the Terran, the red Terran, YoDa. See that? He might be getting his confidence back, and hopefully he can, because he's got it within him to be a champion, as we've seen in the previous years. Likewise, this guy. Down in the bottom left-hand side of Frost is the blue Protoss player. It's ToD.
One of the things I've noticed in StarCraft 2, actually, like one big hurdle that I really jumped a long time ago was just being more decisive about my decisions. As soon as you start going middle of the road and you start worrying about what your opponent can do to you, it really affects your play so much. You really have to be truly decisive. Hey, I'm going to do this. I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to go through it. Even if you see little things, you can react to them. But as soon as you start overreacting and start overreading the situation, it can put you so far behind. And I feel that YoDa kind of fell into that groove a little bit with Protoss and is a little bit worried.
Yeah, I agree with you definitely there. I mean, hopefully he can turn that around though. I mean, YoDa is a great player and can bring his great games. And remember, he's only one of 2 Terrans. We've seen 4GG go through, and if YoDa doesn't, we only have 1 in the top 8. So it would be good to get some more Terran representation. By the way, I mean, let's think about ToD now. I really think that ToD has to think back to his round of 32 games, because in his group in the round of 32, I'm pretty sure not a lot of people thought he would advance. In a group with San, MVP, and Uthermal. So that's actually a really difficult group. Yeah, I mean, he beat MVP, he had a close series versus San, and then beat Uthermal 2-1. And he played really solid against the Terrans. Super defensive, Hearthstone style.
ToD is actually very good at this game. Like a lot of people, in fact, I don't really know many people that give him any kind of bad word, but he is a very, very solid, strong player. I feel that ToD's worst enemy is himself when he starts thinking that he's bad at a matchup or not so good here. He sees that it's something very normal. And this is good. This is good for ToD. So he scouted out, even though you lose the probe, which you never want to do, it's a 4-player map, so he scouted him second. And here, he can go into a normal game feeling pretty confident. He's been in this situation time and time again.
But where does he go from here? Does he deviate to the normal of ToD? Does he try to, look to finish this fast? Does he try something newer that's come out a lot, like the robotics facility into the switch up and the Stargate that comes out really fast behind it to trick your opponents? Little moves like this have become common recently. Does he just try to drag it out long?
In cross positions like this with a Protoss player like ToD, he's got very good micro. He's had micro built into him from his Warcraft 3 days, just solid game plan. And if he watched the Wellmu against YoDa series, YoDa didn't look that strong at controlling ghosts and such, and took very... He seemed shaky in the fight. So, if I'm ToD and I'm thinking like that, take it to the late game. Do what you're good at. ToD is not a cheesy guy. He's a very, very solid player. So stick to what you're good at, because YoDa wasn't so good at that.
ToD is not a guy that goes out to finish the night early.
No.
He's not a cheesy guy like that.
He's not a cheesy guy like that.
He sticks until it's late, the Muslim. He stays until it's dark and the lights are turning off, and that's what he needs to do in this series.
It's a shame that YoDa lost confidence in himself, because there was a period of time where Incredible Miracle, when they had the MVPs and the Nasties doing exceptionally well, MVP was still very confident that YoDa was the best player in that team by far.
The successor of the king.
Yeah, he was very sure that YoDa was a much better player than himself, which everybody's like, MVP, you realize you're the best player in the world and you're saying this about a guy that we haven't seen play before?
It's because he beat him at that tournament. He had to make an excuse up at the Touchstream Masters.
I guess he did. Who did YoDa beat in the final of that tournament, actually? Because it was like a 4-0, right?
Yeah, it was first or something, right?
It was somebody really good. Here, the Reaper comes in.
Off for not knowing that.
The Reaper comes in, what does he scout? Oh, actually gets a bit further than he should have, but does he see anything? Nothing out of the ordinary. In YoDa scans here, gets a good scan, sees double gas and the robo.
God, I knew it was first. I knew it was first. I didn't get told off because I knew it deep inside.
You're so smart.
I'm so smart sometimes.
So knowledgeable. Oh, a nice move out across the map here. Does know what he's up against. I like these kind of moves out, by the way. Because
do you use them yourself?
I do. I move out with a concussive shell push.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's really nice. But here,
well, this is concussive shells as well.
Yeah, what's the worst that can happen with this? You force an overcharge, you waste Mothership Core energy. The best that can happen is, hey, you catch a Stalker out of position.
Yeah.
Might be able to snipe the Mothership Core before anything happens. But
ooh, and he's going around the longer way, but the different way, and it's not going to be spotted by the observer in the middle, which is a little bit unfortunate. But he does have 3 Stalkers and Photon Overcharge, so I mean, 3 Stalkers is very comfortable.
It is very comfortable.
But okay.
Ooh. Is he gonna get that Mothership Core? Bam. Gets a Mothership Core, loses a Marine, runs away with the rest of it.
Yeah, ToD, you want to be careful here, man. He's got concussion shells.
Oh dear. So here we talked about like what's the worst that can happen, and this is the kind of best thing that can happen. Yeah. And I mean, even there he could have maybe got an extra. Oh, gets the Observer too.
Oh, and he crashes another Stalker.
Gets away.
Yeah. Oh, may flip back.
Oh dear. Just run away from that.
careful.
Just run away from that. It's not an armor you really want to engage because it looks kind of shady and you want to grab it in the Planetary Nexus range, but overall...
he's supply blocked.
Oh, man.
60 supply. He's getting that Colossus out. Sunk a lot of his supply there, and he can't even get the Mothership Core out on the natural. He's still not building pylons.
It's unfortunate. Like, this kind of push at the front. Not only did YoDa kill units and kill a Mothership Core, waste a lot of gas, and just lost mineral units, he actually forced ToD to supply block. So it's a move that not only does damage, but you force your opponent to make mistakes.
And he, I mean, he's only built 1 pylon, so he's actually just going to continue to be supply block because he needs to build another Colossus.
5 gateways on the way.
The Mothership Core builds, and he's at 65, 68. He adds a sentry, and he's supply blocked again.
Yeah, and ToD here going for 5 sentries all at once, losing this Observer. The Observer's loss kind of helps him a little bit, can continue production, but now ToD's taking the supply block seriously.
Yeah, look at the supply difference between the two of them. I mean, 20 supply difference already.
Same harvest count too, which is always greater for a Terran.
Oh yeah, that's not looking too good for ToD right now. A couple of minute mistakes here, which I know he will not be happy with.
This is the kind of stuff that YoDa really needed to start doing, though. Like here, even a very confident third on the low ground. He was in ToD's face right from the get-go, so he knew exactly what was happening.
Can YoDa not just stim forward now? I mean, the Mothership Core doesn't have Photon Overcharge. There's only that as an army.
He could stim forward. That is not a scary bunch whatsoever. And he did actually stim his whole squad there. So I think that was a bit of a... You know, you said he can stim there. I think he might have heard you. But like a... Nah.
You silly little guy.
Warp
Prism is a comeback tool. On this right-hand side, can get some damage done, of course, with all the units being waypointed to the side, but ToD needs to balance the both here. He needs to balance his actual units in defense. Getting that Warp Prism to do something.
Koreans always see those observers, they really do. And he has to be a little careful here, because those Colossi, if he catches you out, can deal a lot of damage, but YoDa's just kind of moving around, sees those pylons in the main base, was looking if he can drop there, but doesn't look like it's just playing it safe, containing his opponent while his third is going up. So any time that goes by at this point, it's still good for YoDa.
Yeah, it seems like the game's, I mean, it's getting a little bit better for ToD. He was definitely in a bit of danger before, but Photon Overcharge pushes his back. He's got 2 Colossus, third one on the way. Warp Prism's out. A turnaround here from YoDa. And is this going to work?
Whoa.
He gets one of them down, and he's going for the second.
He is ballsy here, gets both Colossi, focusing the Stalkers down 1 by 1 too.
Oh dear. Let's just say ToD didn't really expect that to happen, but it did.
He certainly didn't, but here, he is choosing to take advantage of this and is doing a big drop on YoDa's natural. And
yeah, this is good.
Supply-wise, he knows about third. He stopped mining at the natural. ToD's not actually doing bad in this situation.
Yeah, not bad at all. There are 2 Vikings that have killed the Warp Prism already, so there's only these Zealots left. But ToD's actually moving across the map. I'm not too sure if that's the right idea. Very little units there. But he does take map control, potentially opens up to take a third soon.
It's just, like, if you look at the units on the field, there's 1 Colossi, 11 Zealots, and a Mothership Core, so there's no real gas units left. Like, no Sentries, no Stalkers. Todd's got all these pylons scattered around the map, putting a third down as well. Like, a very, very weird play, but I guess he's feeling okay about this.
Yeah, I mean, +2 armors on the way, Zealot Charge on the way, Storm is starting up. And then, of course, you do have the Warp Prism being built again. Unfortunately for YoDa, he's a little bit late through that harassment on his armory, which is slowing down his upgrades just a tad.
Yeah, I mean, he got kind of stifled by that Warp Prism a little bit. Like, I didn't expect that drop, given that he did so much damage, and there was 3 Colossi on the field, like, when he went to his base. I would have also not thought he had time to whip out Warp Prism, but here, a big scan on all those High Templars there.
And what's the first thing that comes to your head when you see those?
Well,
oh, crap.
Yeah, you look at the energy bar and it's like, do they have 75? If they just got warped in, it's usually Storm's only just started upgrading, so, you know, he's kind of pushing ahead here, and Storm isn't quite finished yet, so really good timing by YoDa.
Oh, this is seconds away, and ToD halts this easily. And unfortunately, I mean, he's pushing back, but the Vikings are getting on top of the Colossus here. Storm's still not done.
No.
1 Colossus down, still 5-6 seconds.
Yeah, like ToD's holding on here, but lost the third. He has pylons scattered around the map, but if we look at the harvest count, it's 62 against 55 in YoDa's favor. The upgrades are doing pretty good for YoDa too. We have +2 armor almost completing for ToD, but, you know, his army, it looks pretty okay, but YoDa, he can just keep on jumping ahead here.
Yeah, this is, I mean...
Oh, and he can even threaten a drop on the main down there. Nice Warp Prism play by ToD, though.
Yeah, really nice Warp Prism play by ToD, and he gets in there and gets a good warp off before the Warp Prism gets picked off. And here is some third-person action. First-person action, sorry, third-person, that'd be funny. That's what we were just doing. First-person action coming in from ToD, as he's using that Warp Prism, getting Zealots around, harassing with the Stalker, but also moving forward with his army.
These Zealots in the main are still dealing a lot of damage, and Zealots at third too. And here, warping in, he's getting ready for that attack in his main base. Is there anything to kill those Vikings attacking? No, not really.
No, not really. There's a lot of units down here. He's trying to warp in to deflect this. Probes come off the line for ToD.
Oh, as soon as probes come off the line, they're just going to get murdered here.
Yeah, great target fire onto the Archon to prevent it from doing damage. The probes are gone immediately, and it's a bit of a weird situation right now, but ToD has a couple of storms here. They're going to be useful, and they do land, but not really on too much there. Only a couple of Marines. Another one down, but I don't think ToD really has enough steam, does he?
That storm was really nice, but here, I mean, the production has not been killed yet for YoDa, and there are 5 barracks available. In fact, even more available, 3 Marauder 7 Marines at a time. He's waiting for those upgrades. The Colossi is still alive, which is going to be problematic. If we look at the supply, ToD is well ahead in supply.
Always got enough units here, maybe, to fight this.
Great feedbacks, great feedbacks. But there are still quite a lot of bio alive here.
I mean, this is just,
this is getting messy as hell.
This is very messy. And all the SCVs come off.
Whoa. How did... I mean, that did not look like ToD was winning at that point, really. I thought YoDa was hanging on there, but...
ToD breaks through, has enough to defend his main base, and also starts to crack through to his opponents.
That was really nice by ToD.
It's not over yet, ToD. It's not over yet.
It's not over at all.
Son. Keep fighting. Actually, shh. Here's again.
Yeah, be quiet.
Don't say
anything bad. Don't say anything bad.
Don't say
In fact,
you're amazing.
To ToD's credit, he played very well that game. Like, it started off shaky, like the Mothership Core died against that initial push, then lost a Stalker or 2, and YoDa just lost Marine. So right from the get-go, YoDa looked like he was doing very well. Got his third up before ToD, cancelled the third of ToD. But ToD, with that War Prism play, like, that was really key at killing YoDa this game. So with that in mind for this third game of the series, that's something that I'd have in my head. Like, YoDa did not handle that harass very well whatsoever. Yeah,
crisis management a little bit lacking there for YoDa, and well, one goes on as ToD's saying that he's very hot right now under these lights.
Yeah.
Is asking.
He's never handled the heat well. You've seen that famous video.
I've seen the video.
It's a pretty cool video. In fact, Take's on that video.
Yes, he is. He's the one doing the questions.
Yeah, he kind of comes up to ToD, just asks him a question. ToD kind of shouts at him, but then it's a normal conversation. After the initial shout, like, didn't really mean it.
Yeah.
But here, Habitation Station for our third game is the one that we are going into.
YoDa's really struggling, isn't he? Not just today, but in StarCraft overall. He's really having a hard time here. I mean, I say that and he's in the round of 16, which is a little bit silly, but he is not having the best time in StarCraft for sure.
Whoa.
Oh my! Whoa. No way! Jose! All right. The guy floating with the command center towards the gold base is the Red Terran. It's YoDa.
If you guys
look at the pin following
that was so nicely done. But if you guys saw Apollo's hand motions as that was happening, that was amazing.
I do like things like that. Up here to the top right, as the Protoss and Team XMG is ToD.
One fortunate thing for ToD is he does scout with a probe.
ToD beat MVP, who did this in the round 32.
Oh, really?
Yes, he did. He attempted an expansion, and from that expansion with minimal probes, you're talking like 30 probes, not a lot, he tried to rush up towards Colossus and lost his natural, got pushed back to his main, but had enough, he had 2 Colossus, I think it was, to push it back.
Okay.
And then actually broke out from the bunkers and tanks and stuff.
Wow.
He did.
I think I actually saw those games, and he did play very, very well. But here, yeah, ToD isn't a guy that likes to play blind against Terran. He likes to make sure he knows what they're doing. And
he's going to spot this fast, so this is nice because he can actually start to build a plan without having to think too fast on what to do.
Yeah, and bam, sees it straight away.
Yeah, even decides to go back then forwards with the probe.
Double check.
And
sees 2 racks immediately, like, wow.
I wonder what ToD's plan is then, because he did that, what I said before, but there's been a lot of other variations. I think Parting, for one, in the GSL, destroyed this with like a Mothership core and then a double Oracle follow-up. There's different follow-ups to do. Stalker's attempted a proxy robotics facility with a mortal push to try to do it. That didn't work out so well. Players have been on one base. Blink, they've tried. DTs. I've seen a lot of different things that you can try.
Oh,
and he's going to try this one.
Wow, okay, so where does ToD go from here?
Or more so, where does YoDa go from here?
Well, there's not many places you can go. You have to get a few Marines out. Maybe making a 3rd barracks might be worthwhile, but wow, stops mining. He doesn't actually have a lot of SCVs to do this with, so he's using 5 SCVs to just kill one of these gases. That just leaves you with 7 left over to mine, or 8 left over to mine.
Interesting. I like this, though. I like this.
This is great by ToD. Like, I didn't actually think about this, but this is like the old PvP days where you kind of steal both their gases, and then they're kind of left with no tech in a nice start by ToD.
And then he's focusing on one base of his own. He's got his double gas down. What's the best way to deal with a lot of Marines and a bunker here, do you think, from what ToD has or could go to?
Well, let's see what ToD does. So we just see this bunker. So he's on top of it, has not lost that probe, gets out a Zealot.
But already this bunker's going to be hard to deal with, I think.
It certainly is. He's going to have to let that go up. But gas-wise, tech-wise, ToD's going to be ahead. YoDa's still using SVs to clear out these assimilators. So,
interesting.
You know, I think this was really smart by ToD. And has YoDa ever had this done to him? I doubt it, because how often do these kind of situations happen? But one nice thing for ToD was, upon seeing those 2 barracks and no gases whatsoever, because that's a big scary thing, like when they do a Widowmine follow-up, or Cloak Banshee follow-up, or even a Raven tank follow-up, there was no chance of that happening, so immediately ToD felt pretty comfortable in this game.
This is a little bit over-eager, I think, with the Zealot.
Yeah.
You're not going to get anything done here. I mean, there's even more Marines coming.
Yeah, I think the best thing ToD could have done was to run past and stop the reinforcements.
Yeah. But this was not so good. He lost half hit points on the Zealot, shields down for nothing really. I mean, he got a bit of damage done to the bunker, but it's not really important. I think it's just, I was going to say Warp Prism, but Immortal.
I like that.
Yeah?
Yeah, I mean, Warp Prism would have been cool if you're thinking about, hey, how am I going to kill my opponent? How am I going to deal damage? But you already kind of dealt quite a bit of damage with those double gases. So right now...
do you think he breaks out and expands? Do you think he breaks out and continues on?
I mean...
Well, right now, he's actually got to think about
He has to hang on, yeah, he has to hang on. So the fact that Immortal is going to come out, while it isn't the best against Marines, it doesn't die quickly against Marines. But here, YoDa's doing a lot of damage.
Yeah, ToD has to put all his probes here because he needs a bit of buffering against the Marines. The Zealot is gone.
Oh,
he's lost a lot of probes.
Oh, this is a lot of damage for ToD, losing 12 workers from YoDa here. Is he going to lose that Stalker too? Oh, it does look like it. This is...
He's actually gone down to 11 probes. This is actually a lot worse than I thought would happen.
This is, yeah, this is
very bad.
Really, really bad.
I think ToD would probably be saying in his head, like, I can't believe you just walked up there. You did not know exactly what I had. I could have had much more Stalkers. You could have lost everything. He could have always retreated back to the bunker if that was the case, but oh boy, that's a stinger.
Gets a salvage off too, and upon seeing that, just makes you tilt even harder. And YoDa's economy goes untouched for the last few minutes, and now getting up the starport, 3 Marines at a time, getting tanks out, and ToD's income, if we look at that income tab, it is terrible for him right now.
It's the one immortal mothership core push.
It's very famous, that push.
It's famous, man, and it is famous for reasons that aren't good.
Infamous. But yeah, it's not good for ToD right now. YoDa did far too much damage with that push, and ToD should have never really let that happen, but it's a very unfortunate situation to be in. Really is.
All right, and with tanks up, second one on its way. ToD's looking for a bit of value from the immortal. He's gonna actually, whoa,
oh dear.
Whoa,
Sean. Oh, and a drop coming in for the main. I think that drop's enough to win him the game, actually. Very smart play by YoDa.
So far out.
And even if he does have these 3 gateways, he has no money to warp in anything that can defend that drop, and he's being very cautious with this drop. Could have just ran it into the mirror line. A scan here going down for YoDa
to see
as well.
if he was going to be attacked while doing this, it was in the middle by the Zelnoga tower.
Yeah.
Throwing overcharges up.
That's good. That's
now.
good. Bam. Gets away, doesn't even kill a Marine.
So, 2 immortals, a Sentry and Stalker. Against, I don't know, it's like 20 Marines now. 21 Marines, 2 tanks, about to be a 3rd.
Oh, cancels that tech lab, but
I don't know why. I think maybe because the tank couldn't get out.
stuff was going to get stuck.
Yeah, stuff was going to get stuck. So he's going to go over to Banshees as well, and this is just getting worse and worse and worse.
Yeah, and there's no chance of AoE for ToD either, and there's going to be so much bio marching at him.
I mean, right now, this push could actually just, well, it most likely will just win the game. ToD has very little to defend. He has the Warp Prism to try and do something. He's pylon blocked again. Can't get the Immortal out.
ToD's been exceptionally unfortunate, but I mean, this Immortal drop's nice. It will hopefully buy him some time, and I mean, you have to get out a lot of units to deal with Immortals, but you know, this army that's coming at his base won't stop that anytime soon. Is he going to lose these Immortals, actually? Looks like one is... Oh, saves it the last second.
But
nice, buying time here.
Well, as much as these force fields are cool and all, I think he can very easily pick up and drop.
Great siege tank positions too, and he's focusing the robotics facility to deny Immortals, but you know, he doesn't have really that much anti-air here either, so once the Banshees start coming in, he's in a lot of trouble here.
Well, ToD says, all right, I can hold on with Fulton Overcharge. I'm going to try and drop and slow this guy down again.
He has to do something. Can't really fight this army. Banshee coming over too. Oh, a few force fields, traps a few Marines.
Good trap. God, if you hadn't lost those 15 or so probes, 14 probes, in a very different game, unfortunately.
It certainly would have. I mean, it didn't look like a scary army marching up his ramp, but when you have absolutely nothing, like ToD really banked on nothing like that happening. Unfortunately for him, that's the one thing that did happen. And now he's down to 1 gas mining, doesn't really have a good army. His opponent's sat outside his base and you can't touch him.
Yeah.
Constantly scanning.
This must be really bad as well to be in this position, because I know that as a player, you can be like, you know, if I'm doing okay in this game. If I just win this game, then I've got 1 PvP to play. I can do it in PvP. I'm probably going to play Wellmoon, not MC. I can do it, I can do it. I can go to the top 8. And then this happens, just poof. Probes are gone and you are gone.
Yeah.
And it is just all just taken away immediately from you.
It's so sad, and this is a huge army marching across the map. 91 supply against 66, and ToD did a good job of getting back into this game, but this is not looking great for him. Look at the Warp Prism on the right side.
Yeah, great position for the Warp Prism on the right-hand side there. Actually drops and gets rid of the tanks, as the Banshees are a little bit annoying right now.
Oh, nothing to do with those Banshees, though, and this huge army marching up. The Immortals falling. ToD just falling now. No planetary nexus available. A
good attempt, but you cannot stop these Marines. And it is GG, and it is YoDa that survives the elimination game and stays in the tournament. Unfortunately, ToD is knocked out in last place here in today's group. But as much as I said before, I hope this game would give YoDa confidence in his play. That's not quite the series that would give you confidence for the next couple of games.
Certainly not when something as crazy as that happens. And he was still constantly scanning his opponent for things. So he is extremely wary against Protoss. And I guess if you do spend countless hours practicing against a guy like MC that's so aggressive all the time, that does it to you.
Yeah. A little bit unfortunate but for ToD, but yeah, let's hope YoDa can step it up and continue to fight for Terrence here. As we are closing in on today's group, we have just 2 games remaining, and it is of course going to be our first place deciding game, followed by the decider. So up next is going to be that PvP between MC and Welmu, and then of course the loser of that will go up against YoDa for the decider. And a couple of good games coming.
Certainly is. Welmu against MC, I'm looking forward to that. It's the best foreign Protoss right now, arguably. It has to be one of them at least. Like,
Yeah.
I can't think of a contender for that title.
He's definitely up there right now for sure.
And against MC, like, he's beat him before, beat him twice in the ATC League, and yeah, I'm especially looking forward to that match.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one, but for now, let's hear some words from YoDa.
Thank you, guys. Yes, with YoDa, well done. Congratulations on a 2-1 hard-fought victory. The guys in the commentary said that you appeared very nervous in your first game. Have you overcome the nerves? And if not, why are you so nervous right now?
일단 이긴 거에 축하하고, 근데 첫 번째 게임부터 좀 긴장된 모습을 보여준 것 같았었는데, 아니 이번 처음 매치부터서 그런데 실제로 긴장이 됐었는지 아니면
긴장은 하나도 안 되는데 그냥 뭐 손이 너무 안 움직이는 거. 대회만 하면은 손이 잘 안 움직여요. 네, 제 생각대로. 그래가지고 좀 힘든 것 같아요.
I don't think it's my nerves, but I don't know why, but every time when I play offline, my hands don't move as well as I would play in practice games, so it's really hard.
Okay, tough first match, obviously, against Welmu. Now you've beaten ToD. Does that give you a bit more confidence going into your final game?
이제 토드 선수를 이기고 나서 다음 경기도 이제 좀 이길 자신감이 생겼는지.
원래 자신은 항상 있는데 대회만 오면은 잘 안 풀려가지고 그래도 일단 뭐 분위기에 적응은 일단 대충 했기 때문에 다시 하면은 이길 것 같아요.
Well, I'm always confident to win. It's just this kind of jinx when I go to offline tournaments. And yeah, I think I'm motivated to win the next game, and I hope it will work. Yeah.
Okay, it's been just over a year or so since you last won Intel Extreme Masters World Championship last year in 2013. Why has Heart of the Swarm not been as good for you as it was at the very beginning?
한 1년 정도가 지났는데 IM 그때 우승했던 게요. 근데 초반에는 엄청 잘하면서 그런 우승을 했을 수 있었는데 지금 성적이 좀 떨어진 이유가 있다면 뭐가 있을까요?
성적이 떨어진 이유는 그때 잠깐 제가 자만을 했거든요. 그래가지고 그때 좀 연습을 게을리하다 보니까 그게 이렇게 성적으로 나와가지고 그게 이렇게 쭉 떨어졌어요. 그 뒤로 제가 거의 연습을 안 하다시피 해가지고 일단 그렇게 성적이 안 나온 건 당연한 것 같고, 최근에는 엄청 열심히 하고 있는데 그래도 자신은 항상 있는데 대회만 오면은 잘 안 풀려가지고 좀 너무 속상한 거 있는 것 같아요.
Well, to be honest, after this win at the World Championship Series in IM, I was too confident. I didn't practice much after that. I thought I'm the best, and that just happened. So at the moment I'm practicing a lot, and I try to get at the level again. And if I can overcome this jinx at offline tournaments, I think I can get back there.
Okay, I was going to ask you about your preparation, because having MC to play against and first must be a real help for you. Just explain to us what that preparation has meant for you.
그럼 연습에 대해서 좀 물어보고 싶은데, MC 선수랑 또 퍼스트 선수랑 같은 팀 생활을 하면서 연습을 하는데 그런 게 얼마나 중요한지 하고 얼마나 도움이 되는지 말해주세요.
일단 서로 같이 이렇게 생활을 하면서 연습을 한다는 게 일단 서로 일단 공유할 수 있고 많은 것을 얘기할 수 있기 때문에 좋은 점이 많은 것 같아요. 그리고 뭐 일단 여기가 해외잖아요. 그래가지고 일단 아무래도 같이 있는 게 좀 더 도움이 많이 되는 것 같아요.
Yeah, it helps a lot to play with MC and First in the Jam Team House, because we can always talk about the game right after playing some games, and it also helps a lot because it can be a little bit lonely when you live outside of Korea as a foreigner. So, yeah.
Well, best of luck in your next game, and well done for taking down ToD. That's YoDa, and he will be back a little bit later on to find out who he plays in the final game of Group B. Next up is MC versus Welmu. Is it revenge time, or is it another crushing defeat for the defending champion? We'll find out after the break.